Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, Pink and Girly Ballet. It's been a little while since I made the first part of this video where I talked about the likes of my adult ballet 101 class. In this part of the video, I'm going to talk about my dislikes as far as my adult ballet 101 class is concerned. So if you want to watch the video about the likes, you can watch part one. And what I can go ahead and do is link that in the description below for you guys. Not description, but I can link it in the comments below for you guys to go and check out if you're interested, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to talk about the dislikes of my adult ballet 101 class, okay? So, my first dislike was there was no one at the front desk when I entered the lobby of the ballet studio. There was instructions at the front desk of how to sign in and to fill out a registration sheet. Coming to a ballet studio and somebody not being at the front desk can be really unnerving, especially if it's your first time going to a ballet studio. And, it made me kind of wonder if the class was still being offered because there was nobody at the front desk. And having somebody at the front desk is really good because that can help if anybody has any questions or anything like that. And maybe can answer questions like about the facility or whatnot, okay? And so not having anybody at the front desk, just really kind of made me a little bit unsure about the studio. But even though I was unsure, I just followed the instructions of um, of signing in and then filling out the registration sheet. My second dislike was that there wasn't anybody at the front desk to walk me and other students to our class until 7:30 when the class started. I would have preferred that we were walked to our class at least at 7:20 p.m. or 7:25 p.m. So for those of you who don't know, my adult ballet 101 class was on a Tuesday. So it was on December 15th. It was after I got off work. And it was great for the time that it was being offered. However, when I got to the studio, I got there early. So I got there at probably 7 o'clock is when I got to the studio. And I had been waiting, from 7 o'clock all the way until the start time of the class. And as the time kind of ticked by, and like I had mentioned before, there was nobody at the front desk, it made me wonder, oh my gosh, is the class canceled? Do I have to request a refund? And thoughts like that shouldn't be whirling around in my head. And I'm quite sure other students felt the same way about the class too. So luckily there was another girl that had came in that was taking the ballet class, and she was able to take me and some other students back to the class. But that wasn't until 7:30 when the class started. The problem with that is, what if some of the students that were in my class wanted to ask the instructor some questions before class started? What if, they had any injuries they needed to tell the teacher about? What if there were some people who were in their work clothes and they needed to get changed, and if we're going back there at 7:30 when the class starts, that doesn't give somebody a lot of time to get dressed into their workout clothes, or their ballet attire. And so, if we would have went back at 7:20 or 7:25, I think it would have made things a little bit easier and things. And also, what made it more unnerving was the fact that when we went back to the class at 7:30, there were already students in the class sitting and waiting. So that made me and some other students feel like, oh my gosh, are we late? And nobody wants to be late for their first class. You don't want to have people staring at you and things. Luckily, nobody did, but still, you still have that feeling of people staring at you if you come in late. Because, what if you come in and they're already starting to practice ballet moves and you miss out on that, And so luckily nobody in my classes started or anything, and the teacher gave us some time to get ready, but still, it would have been nice for us to have, at least 5 or 10 minutes, to get ready and things. Number three, so my third dislike is there were no pictures of ballet positions or movements we were practicing in the class area. So this is a ballet adult 101 class, okay? And a lot of us in this class have never taken ballet before. We don't have a dance background. And so typically when you go to a class that's for absolute beginners, usually they're going to have some kind of guide for you. You know how like you were in like elementary school and they'd have pictures of stuff that you were learning, like in art class, they have like the primary colors, or like if you're in a writing class, they have like, um, you know, penmanship on the walls and cursive or something like that, or if you've ever taken some other type of class, like let's say if you've taken like karate, and they'll show like karate moves, and they'll have pictures of that on the wall. Well, in my ballet class, they didn't have any pictures of the movements that we were supposed to do. And I understand ballet movements mean you have to move your body. And I totally get that. But it's a good idea for us to have an idea of what the final stance is going to be, the final pose is going to be when it comes to a ballet movement. So we can try to mimic that movement with our bodies. One thing I do want to talk about here too is when it comes to ballet, you are going to need to move various parts of your body. So you're going to have to move, your arms, your hands, your legs, your back, your spine. You're going to have to, rise up on your tippy toes. You're going to move your feet and your legs. And if you have any type of injuries or anything, you want to definitely tell your instructor about it before the class starts. I wouldn't even, if I have an injury, I would tell the teacher, if it's like significant, let the facility know before you take the class so that you can reach out to the instructor ahead of time, maybe days in advance, to see if maybe you need to get clearance from your doctor before you even get started in ballet, just so that you're safe. You know what I mean? Because, you don't want to show up and not be able to do any ballet because of an injury that you have. You want to know ahead of time. And yes, you can disclose to your ballet teacher, hey, I have an injury. I have an injury. I actually have a lower back injury from a car accident that that occurred 2 years ago, and it still has an impact on me, and I'm still being treated for it. However, when I was filling out the registration sheet at the ballet studio when I first got there, then what happened is that I made sure to put it on my registration sheet because they asked, do you have any injuries? And I said, yes, I have a lower back injury from a car accident 2 years ago. And I disclosed that, and you want to disclose that. And also in my class, we had the opportunity at the beginning where we were introducing ourselves, like our name, why we were coming to ballet class. We also had the opportunity to disclose any kind of injury we had to, our instructor and other people in the class. And you want to disclose an injury because if you have a certain type of injury, then the instructor may be able to modify some of the ballet movements so that you can do movements along with people in the class. And it will be a bit easier for you to accommodate for the type of injury that you may have, okay? And so I kind of wanted to bring that up. Having pictures of the poses that we'll do, it would be helpful because it would help us to get a idea, like I said, of the finished ballet pose, of what our bodies are supposed to look like once we're finished. I even think it would be cool to have like little feet on the floor that we can stand on to, so our feet could be positioned in whatever type of, foot position that we need to be in. And I think that would help. I mean, I know some people may think it's a little, childish, but I think it would be great. I think it would be really awesome for them to have that. And I get when it comes to turnout, when you're turning your feet out, not everybody's going to have the same kind of turnout. So that could be a factor. And if you want to know what turnout is, you can, Google it on YouTube. What is a ballet turnout? And, there's some, they may have articles on turnout and videos on YouTube when people, are doing like a ballet turnout with their feet and stuff. When you first start ballet, your turnout is not going to be very straight. So when ballerinas are able to put their feet, like it seems like their feet are facing two different directions, that's going to be turnout, right? And you're not going to be able to do that at first, okay? And so you want to gradually work on your turnout, and you want to be in a ballet class that's for your level. You want to make sure it's one that's, if you're a complete beginner, be in a complete beginner ballet class like what I am, so you can learn some of the things, okay? A fourth thing that I didn't like about my ballet one-on-one class is that there were no class handouts available for to show us what we learned in class, so we could practice the ballet movements and positions at home. So it would have been great if we would have gotten some handouts that showed us the ballet movements and poses, like what different types of ballet positions, what they are, for the arms and the feet. And also, maybe any helpful resources, pictures of what the movements look like. I think that would have been super helpful, because after you get out of ballet class and you're going home, are you really going to remember all the stuff that you learned in ballet? When I came out of my ballet class, I was luckily able to remember some of them, but there were some things I didn't remember until I had to like do research online for like the beginner like ballet like moves or movements, for beginners and stuff. So it wasn't until I did that, then I recognized some of the names of the things based off of what was said in class. And if you're taking an adult ballet one-on-one class, you're going to hear people say terms like releve, plie, okay? You're going to hear turnout. You're going to hear oh my gosh, first position, second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position, bar. You're going to, hear different types of terms like this, and you have to know what these different things are and what they mean, and so you're going to have to know, you may even learn about, or be taught a bourrée turn, right? So you may even learn that, okay? And there's a whole lot of different types of ballet terms that are out there. And so, if you had a handout that told you the type of things that you practice in class, you can look them up online and practice them at your own convenience after class to get better with them. And the studio, I think if they don't want to hand out the handouts, they can always have it on their website for people to download, so people can research them before they come to class, or they can download the handout after class. That would be like super helpful and awesome, I think. My fifth, my fifth dislike is that the class is only offered twice a month. For the one-on-one class, I wish it was offered more often, but at the studio I'm at, they offer other types of dance classes. So maybe they only offer it twice a month because people are only interested in taking it, twice a month and things. It really depends. I wish they offered it more often. All right, everybody. So those are my 5 dislikes of my adult ballet one-on-one class. I hope you guys like this video. And again, like I said, I did make a video about the likes of my adult ballet one-on-one class that you can check out, and I'll put that in the comments below for you guys to check out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye.